us just what goals do you have for your work? We are here at the Purpose Center, and I know this is a labor of love. Just from the short time we've known each other, I've seen your passion with young people, with just being a witness for God and allowing Him to use you. So what would you say your goal is in your work?
I think the overall arching theme is purpose. The name of our church is the Purpose Center. The name of the young men's ministry that we run, which we partner with or collaborate with 10 schools in the Denver metro area. It's called Young Men of Purpose. And I think God has just kind of like infused me with enough energy and strength to help others figure out what they've been called to do. And or just even to kind of inspire people to kind of like get off their butt and make something happen.
Yes.
So I
think we need that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's kind of where I'm at right now, and I think that's what God's kind of calling me to. So I'm just thankful He chose me to do something.
Yes, yes. Do you recall the time where you identified your purpose, or when you felt that voice or feeling in your heart, like this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm called to do?
Right. I don't know if it's like I have a time. I remember like growing up in church and stuff, and being like I remember being very serious about it, even as a little kid, and other kids might have been like laughing or joking and thought the Bible might have been kind of corny or this or that, and I was just like, no, this is real. Like this is it hit me at an early age, and kind of developing, doing in the church and doing music, and then soon kind of figuring out like I had this maybe kind of I just had this love for the Word of God, and then it just kind of all started spilling out after a while. And I think God can make you so full after a while, you just start to overflow, and everybody just kind of catches what you have.
Right.
Or I guess.
Right.
If that makes sense. So.
Right. So when you think back, I'm gonna say 10 years ago.
All right.
Just think about where you were in life and your mindset. Did you ever think you'd be here today, like doing what you're doing now?
No. 10 years ago, I was finishing up my senior college, and I was just trying to get $5 for gas money.
Yeah, the struggle.
Get some ramen noodles on the stove. If somebody told me I would have been a pastor, although I loved God, and although I had even a maybe like a devoutness about it, I guess. I didn't want to be a pastor because I just didn't see myself being that. And I thought it was something just kind of completely unobtainable for a guy like me. And being a businessman, no, I just wanted to like work for someone or do something like that. But God has a way of just kind of turning things around and making things happen.
Don't you love that? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's incredible just to see, well, I guess to watch other people's journeys, because I knew you first, I think, through your music.
Oh, okay.
And so now to see God use you in a larger platform and still be able to use that gift while you're ministering to others. Do you have anything to share just about how your gifts are kind of all connected, and how you're able to still do what you love and serve God?
Well, I think that's something that I think the readers of the magazine and hopefully whoever sees this can. I tried to like compartmentalize it all, and I didn't recognize that it's all the same thing. And I think if people could see or learn like the things that God has placed in you, they're connected and they're interwoven. You're not supposed to be an astronaut and I don't know, just trying to think of just some random like things that happen, right?
The other side, yeah.
Right. It'd be the other side of the moon, and then God, like, if you look at it, like God placed all your gifts really work together for you. So it's not a or a maybe, or it's an and. So it's like I do this and I do this and if you allow God to use you and if you allow God to show you how, you can use all of the things He's given you to edify the people of God and glorify Him. And so you can go from ministry. It's cool. I was telling somebody, I was like, YMOP is ministry, the Purpose Center is ministry, the music is ministry, my family's ministry. It's all ministry. It just has to look a little different in how the application process works, but it's all ministry. And I tell people like, do you do full-time ministry? Like, yeah. I do.
Yes.
I guess I do.
You do.
I guess I do.
You do.
Yeah.
Yes, and I must say you do carry it well.
Thank you.
You are leading the next generation.
Wow.
And so
That's
can
good.
we talk about Young Men of Purpose, YMOP, and just the particular goals you have for that, and just what would success be to you with these men that you are leading?
Yeah, so, when God told me to start this, he said, if you would be obedient to this, I will cause them to be successful. I'll make them be successful. I'll knock over doors, no's, and things that they would have normally gotten. Because they've come through this, I'll open doors. And I had this vision of this army of young men who were going to go out and change the world. And essentially taking godly principles to them in a secular school setting, but again, kind of infusing them with purpose.
Yeah.
And I guess the goal is what we've seen almost 10 years later, almost over 1,000 boys later,
Yes.
over half a dozen or more, a couple, maybe about 15, 20 schools now. And I look back behind me metaphorically and I see an army of boys. And in college now, and basketball players, and playing basketball and football overseas, and all these kinds of things these guys are working on, and it's a real blessing, and God is faithful because exactly what he told me he would do, he's done. So
Yes.
absolutely.
That makes me just excited to know that I like the metaphor you use with the army of men, and to know that you've had that impact. So with Back to Basics, we call it Back to Basics because it's nothing new. Our foundation is biblical, and it's what God has already said.
Right.
And so I'm always interested to know if you have practical ways, you as a minister, how you get back to basics in your walk with Christ, just as you're, leading these big groups of people. And, we are awaiting the congregation today. How do you, as the minister, get back to your basics?
As a rule of thumb, like you said, you can't. Jesus said the disciples are asking him how that he was able to get this particular demonic spirit off of this person, and he said, some things only happen by fasting and prayer. And you just got to get back to the basics, back to basics of the fundamentals of consecration, a lifestyle that breeds that personal time, that devotional time, that breeds whatever you do up front of anybody. It gives you whatever God. You can't spend no time with God, and then when you just get up, like God's supposed to turn on like a switch. Your public ministry time should be an extension of what you do alone. And I just think we just kind of got to get back to that. It seems like I feel like the church has become this like performance thing, and we're more excited about people's riffs and runs and singing and what they have on, what they're doing, as opposed to did Jesus show up? Was he there? And did somebody get set free, delivered? Were yokes destroyed? Did whatever?
Say it.
And it's just time to get back to coming to church for the right reasons. And I feel like when the church gets her heart back together, the world will see us for what we are, and that's supposed to be the light of the world and salt of the earth. So like you said, it's time to get back to basics.
Yes.
So that's how I try it.
Great. I just have one more question. And I believe it's already obvious, but I would just love to hear, why do you have faith in the next generation?
I have faith in the next generation because it's imperative to. They're the ones that are going to be making our decisions when we're older and when we are not able to maybe take care of ourselves or have the strength we used to have. And it's the preservation of the world. And if some pastor 100 years ago didn't pour into somebody else as a kid, as a child, we would have a pastor now. And it's all like a handoff experience. And who knows, maybe one day somebody might be like, I had this teacher and his name was Mr. Rico, and I didn't know it then, but he gave us godly principles, and because of those principles, my sons will be affected because of what I'm teaching my son. So it's just God is the God of the generations. He's the God of divine order. He's the God of not just you, but he's thinking about your children, your children's children. So, that's why it's important. We must. It's our duty to.
Yes, there's like no option.
Yeah, it's ours. Absolutely.
Yes. So I also want to give you the opportunity to share any upcoming events, any things we can be on the lookout for.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a couple things coming up. The church is planning a few things that we're excited about. We are doing, it's called a 0 to 10 marriage ministry retreat. People who've been married from 0 to 10 years. I think sometimes we go and we hear people be like, I'm married for 42 years, 50. It's great, but it's just like, yeah, but how did you get through year 4, 6, 8, 7, 3 when they lost the job? And it's those foundational years where a lot of people have challenges, and being in that age group for marriage, myself, I think I'd like to do that really soon, and just kind of pour into young families in the community. Getting ready to finally finish this music. The Rico Wint project is literally almost done. We're getting to the singing and getting it all done. It should be done in the next month or so. So I'm excited to release some new music.
Me too.
Hopefully, people dig it and people like it, but more importantly, it gives glory to God and the anointing rest on it. So, so that's what we're looking forward to.
Great. And can you give us your handles or, where to find you online?
If you're on Instagram, the Purpose Center, Rico Wint, Rico_Wint, Young Men of Purpose, all on Instagram and also on Facebook. Same thing, same handles. And love to connect.
Yes. Thank you for your ministry and just for sitting down with us today.
Thank you, Brittany.
Yes, we love you.
All right, love you too.